Thank you guys for joining me back. We're in our second half of the Sedeli and Jay show with our special guest, Sirena, who is again a mindset and mental health coach. She's been dropping incredible gems for us tonight. I'm so happy that you guys are here and were able to join us. So I'm going to bring her right back in. Hesitate. Yeah. It's my inner child screaming, guys. Sorry, did you hear my inner child? Yeah, that was my inner child screaming.
I love it.
I'm here for it. Yes. Okay. I'm so sorry that we had to cut you off. You were in the middle of telling us about your relationship with your father, and how it related to you in terms of healing. So could you just go ahead and we'll just kind of jump right in, love. Take us back from there.
Yes. So when we were talking about how, we can heal ourselves while also recognizing that, we can't keep holding on to those stories that are being told about us. I have a loving relationship with my father, but through my own coaching and healing journey, I was able to recognize that I had suppressed a lot of the abuse that I had faced as a kid, and how a lot of those stories feed into my every single day.
Right.
In my own self-worth and the way that I talk to myself, and how I realized actually that a lot of the things that I was doing wasn't pushing my inner child to be a better person. It was actually punishing her. And, recognizing the difference between that has been tremendous. Even in the simplest thing of, I've been in the fitness and health industry for such a long time. It's what, brought me here. And I remember just going out onto the track the next morning. I was like, oh, I'm going to do sprints. It's going to be great. It's what I have to do. After having this realization with my coach that morning, and I got there and I was sprinting, and by the end of it, I was like, am I doing this to better myself, to grow, or am I actually feeling like I'm punishing her right now? And I, just sat her in front of me, and she was like, please, I don't want to do this right now. I'm too emotional. I can't do this. And I was like, okay, done. We're not doing it.
Makes a lot of sense. I think that I can identify a lot with that as well. So we'll have to chit chat about that a little later. Y'all ain't gonna be getting up in my business today, honey. No. I love it. I'm about to book her services like you need to be doing. Okay, you gotta heal. You have to heal. You talked to me a lot about ancestral meditation. I know we're going to do an inner child meditation right after this, but what do our ancestors have to do with how we feel today? What is ancestral meditation, and why do you find it healing?
Oh my goodness. Ancestral work is so powerful. It's a whole
You're
thing.
You're scaring me now. You're scaring me. Am I ready? Can I do it? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're ready. You're ready. It's essentially recognizing, and bear with me everyone just for a second. It's recognizing that we have this lineage of DNA, of genes, of stories and experiences that are passed down from our mother to her mother's mother, and mother. And it, cycles all the way back as far as you would like it to. And what the world doesn't like to tell us is that we hold parts of everybody before us within our present self. And sometimes that can manifest into beliefs and patterns in our daily lives, and it can also manifest as part of that subconscious pattern of grief or negativity, or what's the word, like pressure, and baggage. I'm Armenian 100% as far as I know, as far as we know. And as an Armenian, we, in 1915, we had the Armenian genocide where, 1.5 million Armenians were murdered. And I hold a lot of my culture very important and dear to my heart. And the stories I've heard of my grandparents and their parents are, very traumatizing. But I kept having this great sense that I had this massive army of people behind me that needed me to be the best version of myself and the best Armenian. And it became so much. that I didn't know what voice to listen to. And I stumbled into this meditation class one night, on Ossington. It was like at the Lululemon, on Ossington.
Oh,
This girl,
nice.
yeah, this girl that I knew was running this meditation. She's like, "Oh, it's free. Come join." And I was like, "Okay." And I meditated for an hour and a half. I'd never meditated that long before in my life.
I don't think I
And
could do it an hour. I'm still trying to get past 10 minutes, girl.
yeah, and it's honestly one of the only times I've ever been able to do it for an hour and a half, like for that long. Um, but she essentially guided us through this beautiful thing of really like seeing everybody in front of us and trying to listen into what those messages are saying. The same way that I do with my inner child, essentially, is the way that she brought back all of these people who, I wasn't able to put any sort of face to them because I don't know what any of them looked like, but
Right.
just to feel their presence and their energy, I essentially almost begged to them, like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to serve you? I feel like I'm stuck in this, and I have so much pressure because I want to be the best version of myself. And this, like, as scatterbrained as I was, and they looked at me, and all that came to me, in my meditation was that they were just so proud of me and for what I was doing. And I felt this overwhelming sense of protection. And like they were telling me, like, you don't have to live the stories that we're living. We give you full permission, guilt free. We don't want you to hold on to any of our stories. We want you to create your own path. And it was almost like this cord cutting ceremony, similar to the question you asked me before,
Right.
was when I released the expectations that I had put of them that were, apparently about me. When I was able to release that, it felt like a massive weight was lifted off my shoulders. And I just felt in the presence of, like my spirit guides all the time. And knowing that, yes, I'm Armenian, and yes, my culture is very important to me. And I can take the beautiful parts of that story and narrative and the extremely like the strength that my ancestors had, and I can harbor that into what it means to put into my everyday. But I don't need to hold on to that, the guilt and the constant fear, or the anger against the people who hurt us, because that they recognize that that's not serving me, which in turn helped me to recognize that. So it's
Absolutely.
like, it's a lot. It's a
It's
lot
a
to,
lot.
it really is. It's a lot to unpack, but it was one of the most fruitful experiences for me to recognize that I was allowed to be my own self and make them proud by living my truest life.
Mm, that's
Mm-hmm.
really powerful. I'm definitely going to have to see if they have these avenues here in Toronto, meditations like that, because I think that it could be really useful. And I want to even tell people who are going through the Black Lives Matters movement, this could be really pertinent for them, really important
So, yeah.
development. A lot of help could be had and exercise in that with that
Mm-hmm.
meditation. Yeah, because we
Mm-hmm.
definitely, all the things you're describing, that's exactly how almost every Black person feels. And, we're still going through it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So without further ado, Serena, would you mind leading us? Would you grace us and lead us in an inner child meditation? Just maybe 10 minutes, something just to get us started to use as a model so that, and if you miss it tonight, no problem. You guys can catch it on my page. And it's something that you can refer to and go back to and just use as like a barometer, if you will, for a starting point to kind of know how to get started, what you need to do. Start with that, see how it makes you feel a few times, and then decide if you want to reach out to sit in for a little bit of a more extended work session. Yeah. All right. All right, love. All right. Whenever you are ready, we are here.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I ask for everyone who's listening to find a comfortable spot, whatever that looks like for you. There's no right or wrong way of meditating, is what I say. And when you find that comfortable spot, if you feel safe, you may close your eyes. And just taking in some deep inhales in through the nose, filling up the deep part of the belly, and gently letting that belly fall, clearing it, either exhaling through your nose or your mouth, however you feel most comfortable. And I want you to continue just taking what might even be your first conscious breaths of the day. Inhaling deeply through the nose, maybe even a little bit more than you for a second, to feel what it's like, that stillness in between inhale and exhale. And slowly letting it out. Inhaling in again through the nose. When we go in for the exhale this time, I want you to make it an audible sound. If there's anyone, but this is slowly how we begin to unravel the ego side of ourselves that a meditation has to be quiet. It doesn't. We have a lot to say, and we got a lot to think about, and oftentimes that requires than we are comfortable with. Now, wherever you are in that seated position, keeping those eyes closed is going to help us to visualize even you wearing your favorite outfit and you're walking out onto a field. It's an open field. Perhaps you hear a little bit of, maybe you feel a bit of wind on your skin or blur. And you're grazing, walking through this field. Completely present. This is the only job that matters right now. You take a couple of deep breaths here, soaking in all of the crisp, enjoying the warmth of the sun. It's a funny inside joke. A silly dance, you think. But you're staying present, maybe smiling a bit at the thought of a child field around you. Sitting there when all of a sudden a tap on your, you turn around and you see that it's the mini version of yourself. He is 5, wearing some dirty overalls, their hair in a disarray from playing on the monkey bars all day. Or maybe they're dressed in their Sunday best, their favorite Mary Jane's, their hair back perfectly, neatly. And they look up at you and smile the cheesiest grin. Maybe they have a gap between their teeth. Maybe they lost a tooth recently. You can't help but smile at the pure sunlight beaming through this being. And that beauty, and asks you to come and play. What is your first, or his hand? Adventures waiting. Or are you hesitant in this? Perhaps imagining that inner child brings ones that you wanted to forget. But in this moment, to kick off the shoes, please will you come play? What's your answer? Are you ready to fully and deeply rush after them, to run into the unknown, to run into the pure sunlight, the pure joy that awaits just for even a minute, to sit on your back side by side, to stare at the clouds and point out the shapes that you see? Do you maybe start a tickle fight? Do you maybe pick up the flowers on the ground and make a flower crown like you used to when you were a kid? Do you maybe find an animal that so effortlessly walks over to that child version of you, knowing its pure intentions, its bright soul? Abilities to sit and check in with them. To ask them if they want to play. And of course, the time comes for us to retreat. You envelop your inner child into the biggest bear hug, reminding them that they are safe, they are off, zipping in your left, back in the right, without the pressure of everything outside of that field. Because now you have the tool of revisiting that inner child you want for however long you want. And they are not a battery that needs to be looked after. Their purest form is always present. And like an oracle, you can ask them any question and they will have an honest answer. With that, I want you to bring your awareness breath in gently, softly, holding it at the top for a second, and exhaling sweetly and lovingly, leaving all that no longer serves you, and inhaling that pure bubblegum fairy tale experience that you just had visiting your inner child. And exhaling to bring you back into your present self. And with that, I thank you for coming on this little journey, and your inner child thanks you so, so deeply and so
Girl,
lovingly.
there was a bit of a delay there,
And
so
she or
I
he
know you're done now, I
or
think,
they
but
cannot
you
wait
had
for
me in a
you to go and visit
trance.
them again.
Girl, are you able to still hear me okay? I think your reception was going in and out a little bit. Okay, good. So I'll just keep speaking. It might be delayed, but I can't hear you anymore. But as long as you can hear me, that's okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah, just so you know, I can hear you, but it's very delayed, so I can't really hear you. But I was in a trance. That was
How you
amazing.
doing?
And it was like just like even the little moments of tears. I just felt incredibly happy and joyful. It wasn't even just peace; it was happiness. So I really that took me on a whole journey. I was in a whole trance. I did not want to come out of it. So I'm gonna need to follow up because I don't want to come out of it. But thank you so much for being here with us and for sharing that meditation with us. Um, that was absolutely incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah, Sirena end the show because we can't hear her too well with the internet, so maybe we won't be able to hear her last words. But we want to thank her for joining us tonight and for leading us in meditation, for dropping incredible tips on how to learn more about the inner child, deal with the inner child, um, love yourself to continue to exercise healthy mental health. So I thank her again. I thank you again for joining me. And I'm surely we'll do a follow up. We need to have another just meditation day. Maybe we'll bring you on to lead us in meditations. I don't know, once a month. Who knows? Let's talk about it because that was really powerful and transformative. Thank you so much, Serena. We love you, and we can't hear you, but we'll see you very soon. Wow, guys. Yeah, Serena took me on a journey. That was incredible. It's put me in a bit of a state. And with that, I'm going to let you guys know. Thank you guys for watching the Sedalia Njai show tonight. I am your host, Sedalia Njai. This episode of the Sedalia Njai show is sponsored by Tandem Media. Make sure that you check them out. Make sure that you follow our special guest, Serena. She is a mindset and mental health coach. She did a lot of incredible work with us here today and graced us with her presence. So please be sure to follow her. I pinned her at Sirena Bali, and there you go. I pinned her handle, and I'll see you guys next week. Stay strong. Refer back to this mental health kind of inner child meditation and this whole video. For all of us who are just kind of struggling, just trying to get through day to day. Yeah. Absolutely. I love you guys.